In 1950, 4% of the world population, the United States, 4% of the world population, had over 50% of the wealth. And it was mainly concentrated in a middle class and working class. 80% of that, half the world's wealth, was in the middle class and working class of America. Say that again. Half the wealth in the world was under U.S. control, and 80% of it was in working class and middle class people. That's what built all the highways and the hotels and all the beauty and all the things we get in airplanes and the wealth for the general public to finally have something. Fast forward, as you just said, to George Herbert Walker Bush. Well, now, less than 1/10 of 1%, it's not the 1%, it's a tiny percent of a percent, has half the wealth. And now fast forward by Obama and then into Trump and now at Biden, less than 1/10 of 1% has close to 80% of the wealth. So America doesn't have that wealth anymore. It's been transferred to the middlemen Trump talked about that moved our jobs to China and Mexico and everywhere. Did it help the Chinese? No. Did it help the Mexicans? No. Did it help us? No. And then those very BlackRock CEO types that did all this, they sit around and they point at the American people and say, you're racist or you're this. Those are all divide and conquer, rear guard actions to make us infight with each other while they just run off with all the stolen loot and the whole future. So Disney and all these corporations have wokeism as their cover story while they're buying computer parts made in China by Uyghur slaves in death camps.
Right.
And so exactly, that's the argument to a leftist if they actually cared. But all they care about is the Pavlovian dopamine on their Twitter, on their Instagram, on their Facebook, on their TikTok, that as long as they attack a nationalist and attack Alex Jones and attack America and attack Steven Crowder and attack Tucker Carlson and attack Joe Rogan when he's, talking about things that are important, as long as they attack, they get promoted. They don't make any money. They don't help anybody, but they're being patted on the head and given this fiat currency of internet attention while they sell themselves and their families out. And it's like the owner of that big basketball team said, I don't want to hear about Uyghur slaves. I'm so high and mighty. My mind's too beautiful. And that's who they are. The truth is they've tried to join the elite. The difference is the owner of that basketball team is part of the establishment. He's got a reason to not want to be involved. They're having clothes made, by slaves or whatever. But when you come back to the average person living in some coffin apartment on welfare who's a leftist who is trying to save up money for their, to have their genitals removed, all so they can aspire to be in a cooler, protected class, that's mind control. And so that's what the Great Reset and the War for the World exposes.